Chapter 9. Finding Balance. In the days that followed, as the house settled into a steady and supportive rhythm, Mina began to feel something she had not allowed herself to focus on for weeks, which was the quiet realization that her own life had been placed on hold while everything else unfolded around her. Between the tension in the house, the sudden shift brought on by the early delivery, and the emotional weight of everything Hanna had gone through, Mina had slowly drifted away from the things that had once defined her routine, including her magic channel and her music. At first she had not noticed. Then she noticed and ignored it, but she could not ignore it anymore. She sat at her desk with her laptop open, staring at her channel dashboard, where the absence of recent uploads felt more noticeable than anything else on the screen. The comments from her viewers were still supportive, still patient, but there was a growing sense that something had paused without explanation. Hanna stood nearby, folding baby clothes with the same quiet precision she brought to everything. "You have not made video," Hanna said gently, noticing the screen. Mina nodded slowly. "Yeah, it's been a few weeks. Maybe more." Hanna tilted her head slightly. "Because of stress?" "Partly," Mina admitted. "Everything just got complicated so quickly." Hanna considered that for a moment, then spoke with quiet certainty. "But this something you love, yes?" Mina looked at her, then back at the screen. "Yeah," she said. "It is." Hanna gave a small nod. "Then you should not stop. Life can be hard and still have space for what you love." Mina exhaled slowly, letting that settle. She realized Hanna was right. Balance did not mean choosing one thing over another. It meant learning how to carry both. Later that afternoon, Mina set up her camera. The room felt familiar again in a way that grounded her, as if she were stepping back into a part of herself that had been waiting quietly for her return. She adjusted the lighting, checked the framing, and took a moment to center herself before pressing the record button. "Hey everyone," she began, her voice steady but warm. "It's been a little while and I wanted to check in with you all." She paused briefly, choosing her words carefully. "Life has been a mix of everything lately and I needed some time to figure out how to balance things again. I am a new big sister now." She smiled slightly. "But I'm back and I hope to be uploading at least a few times a week, but we'll see." The magic video came first. It was simple, intentional, and focused on connection rather than spectacle, with Mina explaining each step clearly while adding small moments of humor that reminded her audience why they had followed her in the first place. She found herself relaxing as she moved through the routine, her confidence returning with each moment. When she finished recording, she sat for a second longer than necessary. That evening, she recorded a new song. The process felt different than before, less about perfection and more about expression, as if everything she had been holding in over the past few weeks had finally found a place to go. The melody carried a quiet emotional weight, and the lyrics reflected the idea of finding stability even when everything around you felt uncertain. Hanna listened from the doorway. When Mina finished, she smiled softly. "This one feels honest." Mina nodded. "It is." The next day, Mina recorded a second video, this time for her magic channel but with a different purpose. She sat in front of the camera, her expression more serious but still calm. "Hey everyone," she began. "I want to talk about something a little different today." She took a breath before continuing. "I've been working with an organization called Kleingelic, and they focus on helping families who are in really difficult situations, especially when it comes to keeping parents and children together." She paused, making sure her words were clear. "So far, I've been able to connect one single mother to the organization for a grant that will help support her and her child, and that's something I'm really proud of." Her tone shifted slightly as she continued. "But I'm also currently working on 2 additional cases and I want to share a little bit about them, because they show how complicated these situations can be." She leaned forward slightly, grounding herself in the message. One case involves a parent from Southeast Asia who was deported and had spent several months in a detention camp in Korea, which created a situation where their ability to support their child became unstable. She paused briefly before continuing. The other case involves a mother whose spouse was killed in an industrial accident, and without that support she was left without the financial means to care for her baby, which led to the child being taken away. Mina's expression softened as she continued. "What Kleingelic is doing is working to provide a guaranteed income of $1,000 a month, which can help demonstrate that the parent has the financial stability needed to care for their child and potentially reunite the family." She took a breath, letting the weight of that settle. This isn't about fixing everything overnight, but it is about creating a real path forward for families who would otherwise not have one. You all know my story by now. And although I can complain about the past, the truth is, it shaped me, and without it I would not be sitting here today where I am. Everyone has a story, and I am so grateful for you all following me on my journey and wherever it might lead in the future. When she finished recording, Mina sat back and looked at the screen. Hanna stepped closer to get a better look. You speak very clearly, she said. People will understand. Mina smiled slightly. I hope so. Hanna nodded. You are helping. Mina thought about that for a moment. She looked toward the hallway where Sarah and the baby rested, then back at her screen. For the first time in weeks, everything felt connected. None of it had to be separate. That evening, as the family gathered together, the atmosphere felt lighter than it had in a long time. Maya glanced at Mina. So you're officially back now? Mina smiled. Yeah, I think I am. David looked at her, his expression thoughtful. You found your balance. Mina nodded. I'm working on it. Hanna listened quietly, then added, balance is not perfect. It is something you adjusting. Mina smiled at that. Yeah, she said. That sounds about right. Mina thought about that for a moment as her gaze shifted toward the hallway, where Sarah and the baby were resting, before returning to the screen in front of her. For the first time in years, everything in her life began to feel connected rather than divided, as her family, her work, her creative passions, and her sense of purpose no longer felt like separate parts competing for her attention, but instead like pieces of the same path she was learning to move forward on.